All right, congratulations. You made it. You did it. I want to formally welcome you to the shift, right? You are now in your desired reality, okay? You spent time journaling, affirming, meditating, planning, hoping, all of the above for this moment right now. If you are watching this, you are someone who has actually, you've already taken the action, right? Even if it was a tower moment, this tower worked in your favor, right? This is something that you needed to push yourself forward or onto this new timeline, okay? So if you're watching this, you are someone that quit the job. Hold on, let me pause this for that engine. I know it's going to be loud in the background. Sucks because I'm on a roll. All right, we're back. Well, I am out in the park, so you'll most likely hear background noise, but that's all right. Let's do this. Okay, so as I was saying, you are someone that has already taken the next step. You're not at the place of where you're still thinking about it. Should I quit? Should I leave? Should I move? No, you're watching this video, you've already done it. Perhaps maybe today is, if you're like me, your first day technically unemployed in years and by choice. And your average person may feel like you don't even have a backup plan and they might have a lot of judgment towards you, considering the economy and the state of the world and just how things are. How could you let go of your security and this, that, and the other? Perhaps it's been time for you to leave a relationship. And same thing, you are, from the average person, getting an earful of what they feel about you and your life, right? Heavy emphasis on your life, okay? Perhaps maybe you're someone that already moved. You drove away, got on the airplane, whatever it was that you did, and you're in the new place, and you've got people that are like, why would you move away from your family? Like, why would you move, to some place where you don't know anybody? Like, what the F is wrong with you? Okay. So that's the frequency that we're on right now, those of you that are watching this video. Okay. So, as I already said, congratulations, and I want to welcome you again to your new timeline. And I feel like I want to say like the hard part is done, but I also want to talk about helping our nervous systems settle into this new timeline. Okay. So the other day I put up a post about, uh, what did I say? Something about y'all want to talk quantum physics, spirituality, and, connecting the science with the spiritual and connecting it all. And the response was overwhelming. Everyone was like, yeah, let's talk about it, right? And without going off the deep end and whatnot, I really think that, so first, to put it simply, in my opinion, from my perspective, what I think that quantum, you know, physics, quantum mechanics, like what that really is that it's saying in a nutshell that everything is interconnected, right? Nothing is really separate, and that we have a direct, what's the word? A direct way of being able to shape our reality, to shape our consciousness, or through consciousness, right? The thoughts you think, the emotions you feel, the intentions you put out, uh, all of those things shape what happens in your reality, right? Um, so, with that said, Now that we're on the new timeline, it's going to take our nervous system a chance or time to be able to settle into the new timeline and to continue accepting the shifts and the changes, right? So, for example, something that I had to change just within myself was that I'm in the camp one where, you quit that 9 to 5 and with no backup plan, right? And, I've had some people say, like, so two things as I'm saying this off the top of my head. The first part was that I realized that I needed to probably stop telling people that I quit. I mean, aside from like the people at my job and whatnot who needed to know, um, being mindful, being cautious of like who you are really sharing that information with, okay? Because if we're getting into the quantum field, the things that people say and they'll project their own fear and their own, that's really what it is, their own fear onto your situation. Like as I was saying earlier, like there's those naysayers that would be like, why would you do that in a time like now? That's so dumb. So that was the first thing, just being mindful of who you share with, okay? And then the next thing would be to reword that. I absolutely did not quit my 9 to 5 with no backup plan. Now, by backup plan, do you mean have another job lined up before the next payday? By backup plan, do you mean uh, having, I don't even know like what backup plans you're thinking, but I absolutely do have a plan, right? And it's to follow my heart. So, as far as I'm concerned, I didn't quit without a backup plan. I have a plan, and it's a wonderful plan. Uh, uh, yes. And speaking of backup plan, something that I came to realize over this day, really, I was thinking about it this weekend too, but some of the stuff didn't really come to me until I was doing my meditation and regulating my nervous system because, when I woke up, my nervous system was like, oh, ish, we're not going to work today. And, I was cool through that, did my breathing exercises, and then I found my nervous system or habit checking email and then looking for Teams on my phone. But I removed Teams and I removed that, little email icon. So I just found myself like, like swiping for it, you know? And then I told myself, I was like, it's not there anymore. And then I can't tell you how many times it was like, okay, stop. So that was a sign of me getting a little dysregulated and whatnot. So I had to, calm myself then, find something else to do and everything. Uh, but yes, backup plan. And yes, as I was saying, I was meditating and, thinking about this idea of a backup plan. And something came to me that it was like, perhaps this idea of a backup plan is what kept me on the old timeline, on the old reality this whole time. Because when I really thought about it, it was like, okay, so this is what I want. I want my own business doing this, right? I know that it's like at this point, I want to have fun. I want to have creative control. I, need that time, money, freedom, like all the things that you desire, that you want on one side. But then it was like, okay, so I'm going to have to slowly build that. So here's my backup plan. So my backup plan is going to be a 9 to 5, using my degree, uh, all these other things. And then it was like what do all the gurus tell you? Wake up an hour before and get something done the first hour, and then stay up an hour later in the afternoon and work on it there. Uh, and I sat in the backup plan honestly, I want to say like 7 years just in that backup plan. And in the meantime, don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful for the backup plan. I'm very grateful that the backup plan is what helped me get me to where I am now, right? But within that, I was growing very unhappy. It wasn't what I wanted. I was just doing what I needed to do. I felt like I was losing my soul and all of that. And, for so long, I remembered like what my family members told me that, you just got to do what you got to do sometimes and just look at this world like this is just how it is. And I felt like if I don't just leave, if I don't just quit, I don't think I ever will. I was trying the hour before and the hour after and this and that, and they just really competed with each other, right? So it was a lesson for me in, where we think of everything is interconnected and whatnot, and the nervous system is really what helps us settle in to what we believe we deserve and what we can handle. I thought that maybe get rid of the backup plan. Maybe the backup plan is taking up all my nervous system capacity. Maybe the backup plan is what's taking up everything, right? And your backup plan, in a sense, isn't necessarily even really a backup plan. It's the plan, right? So that was really just what I was thinking about throughout, as I was meditating. So I'm sitting here thinking like, no, this is the plan and this is what we're doing moving forward, right? And where are we at? We're at 12 minutes. I didn't want this to be too long. Uh, so yes, those are the first few things. Being mindful of who you tell. Uh, what else? This idea of the backup plan, and you know, yes, and then now that we are on the new timeline and we've made that leap, right? In our nervous systems, we need to make sure that as we move forward, we don't continue with that old energy, right? So, for example, if you're in camp one like me, quitting the job to follow your heart, when you are looking for other income opportunities, we can't carry that same energy of get a resume or crank it out to 100 people, show up at every networking event, elevator pitch, like that old energy that kind of got you or that did get you that old situation. We have to be able to have a different mindset, different energy so that we can align with what following our heart entails, right? Um, so that might look something like, all right, you got to get up, you got to create, you got to share it with people, okay? You got to study, figure out how to promote yourself. I'm not saying these are the specific things you need to do. If it resonates, okay, cool. But that is what you have to get your nervous system used to now. Uh, and you're going to feel that shaky area where it's like, I need to get on Indeed.com and start, it's like, no, like this is where our heart is right now. This is how we move forward in our income making decisions now. If you go back to that old energy, you're going to bring back that old timeline and you're off of that now. So we got to move in a different direction now, right? Uh, you never know. You might shake hands with somebody and you just start talking as friends, and then they realize you're exactly what they need and they want to refer you to so and so, and boom, right? Those are the things that we're calling forward right now. And then that person asks you, okay, when can you get this done? And you'll be able to say, well, I have to pick up my children, such and such, so I can do it then. And they're like, perfect, all right, whatever you can. And then boom, bam, flip. Look where following your heart got you, okay? And really important to do this without fear. And if you do have fear that comes up, having a way of being able to process it, because that fear is just a roadblock, right? We don't have any space for fear right now. Okay, we've already done the hard part, as I already reiterated in the beginning of this video. Okay, same thing goes for like if you left the relationship and whatnot. That energy of get back on the dating apps, put you up a cute, and start swiping. Like, no, if that's the energy that got you that last situation, we need to shift it into something else. It's going to bring in a new energy on this new timeline, right? Maybe go get a hobby, get out more often. Uh, I mean, low key, that's why I'm out in the park today. um, I mean, you never know who's up here walking their dog. Uh, but, same thing. If you moved, whatever it may be, just on this new timeline, the main thing that you need to remember in your nervous system, uh, in your thoughts, in your feelings, is that we're in a new reality now. We're on a new timeline, and our thoughts and things need to be aligned with that. Okay. So again, I want to congratulate you, and it's going to be a good one. I am really excited for what's to come, and really looking forward to what my collective comes up with. All right. All right. So until next time.